Hello everybody, Disciple here with Overwatch Curios. Creating a team composition around synergy is one of the most important components to your overall success in the game. However, understanding exactly what heroes need to be picked, or what heroes shine best in particular situations, can take some time to master. Sometimes your favorite hero won't always be the best option for you, and they simply may not perform their job as effectively given selections that your teammates or even the enemy team may have made. Supports are not only designed to keep their tanks and the DPS alive, but also to help each other succeed. Having the right support combination and knowing which composition to use them with can strongly increase the power of both of the support characters. So, in an effort to help you all understand the thought process behind building team comps and to explain the way certain heroes work together, today we're going to take a look at some of the best support duos in Overwatch for all of you support mains, or even players that may find themselves playing a flex role in their games. Probably to nobody's surprise, we'll start this off by talking about one of Overwatch's most prominent support pairs, Lucio and Zenyatta. This pair is hands down the most common combination in competitive play and even pro play, but why exactly is that? Well, these two supports work well together because Zenyatta is able to support those dive-oriented heroes that many other supports simply can't. By dishing out both Discord and Harmony orbs from afar, it makes it significantly easier for allies to stay alive and secure kills in the process of their dive, while Zenyatta himself remains relatively safe at a pretty long range. Zenyatta also happens to have some crazy burst damage potential to help, however, due to a lack of mobility, is extremely susceptible to being attacked by enemy flankers, and that's exactly where Lucio shines. Lucio can be a brawler, frequently getting up in the face of enemy flankers and attacking them head on. In cases where Lucio may be finding himself in trouble, his knockback ability is a powerful tool allowing him to create some breathing room to heal back up or to run, or to protect Zenyatta as well. Due to this, he makes such a great bodyguard for Zen, while also having the potential to speed boost to Zen to get him to a safer location if needed, or make him the fastest ambulance ever once he pops his ult. Both of these supports have also extremely powerful team-wide reactive ults that can completely shut down enemy attacks. Due to that, it makes for a pretty powerful backline of supports that can each stand their own ground while supporting an aggressive team. And if simply supporting each other while getting things done isn't enough, both Sound Barrier and Transcendence can completely shut down enemy ultimates like Dragon Blade, Rocket Barrage, Graviton Surge, and more, which are all super common to see and don't even need to be specific to an enemy team comp. However, these heroes aren't great at healing someone like Pharah, which brings us to our next composition. Virtually anytime you see Pharah in high level play, they'll have a Mercy attached to them for the majority of the game. And more often than not, the only adequate support to pair with Mercy is going to be Lucio. With this composition, your Mercy spends virtually all of her time with Pharah, leaving only when she needs to provide backup or healing, or needs to go for a resurrect on an ally if it's safe to do so. The rest of the time, she's either damage boosting or healing the Pharah while flying in the air with her. Due to Mercy having so much time in the air, she becomes extremely difficult for the enemy team to kill. Meanwhile, on the ground, Lucio provides both mobility and area of effect healing to those nearby, allowing his team to play aggressively and create distractions for Pharah to shine. Pharah is most effective when she's able to freely deal damage without worrying too much about the enemy hit scan, and playing a composition like this gives her the freedom to do so. Most often, the rest of the heroes with this lineup would be dive-oriented heroes, tanks such as Winston and D.Va, with a second DPS like Genji or Tracer. Due to the immediate threats created by Lucio's speed and the aggressive dives, Pharah has the freedom to deal tons of damage while the enemy is otherwise occupied. Both supports in this setup become hard to kill due to Lucio's mobility and proximity to his tanks, and the fact that Mercy is constantly flying in the air. Now, sometimes you need to build a composition around defense instead of offense, and that's exactly what the pair of Zenyatta and Ana brings to the table. This is a composition that's most often played on defense maps, particularly with maps that have high ground for the defenders to exploit. Some examples would be Temple of Anubis, Volskaya, or Route 66. With the pair of Zenyatta and Ana, you have the most ranged healing and damage you can possibly get out of your supports. Because of this, the two should focus on finding high ground at long ranges and using those line of sight advantages to support their team and deal chip damage from relative safety. Both of these supports lack any sort of speed boost or mobility at all, meaning that when dove aggressively, if Ana misses her sleep dart, the only hope of survival is simply outfragging the enemy team or getting an ult from Zenyatta. Now, Discord Orb can be extremely helpful here, but if the enemy team is playing a Sombra, EMP will all but guarantee she's able to eliminate the both of you with ease, so you have to play it pretty carefully. If Ana happens to be your favorite support, then it sucks to be you, but she's also got another very solid partner in the likes of Lucio. These two supports are most frequently paired with tank-heavy teams, usually a triple tank lineup. The most important aspect of building this team is definitely the presence of a Reinhardt, however. With a Reinhardt, the general function of this pair will be for Lucio to provide support through heavy usage of his speed boost, while Ana fronts most of the healing that needs to be done. Lucio's speed boost makes it easy for Reinhardt to push more aggressively, and Rein himself makes an incredible target for nano boost from Ana. Once nano boost is used, Lucio will focus on being Reinhardt's personal taxi as he swings his way across the battlefield, and you almost get the old effect of Ana's nano boost, which gave movement speed. In terms of the disadvantages, however, this duo often suffers from a lack of damage going out to back their team up. Since Ana is the primary healer and spends most of her shots looking to keep her teammates alive, and Lucio's damage output is relatively low, overall damage for the team does suffer a bit, and it is a shooting game. So in a tank composition, one you might want to try is Lucio paired with Moira. Due to the large amount of area of effect healing both of these supports are capable of, quad tank lineups with 4 tanks and a Lucio and Moira have been seeing play even in the Overwatch League. Again, it's a pair that works really well with a Reinhardt up front. A team with this pair will often look to play slowly, basically crawling forward at a snail's pace while looking to find a pick. Roadhog makes a great selection to help secure just that. Confined spaces and tight corridors are your friend here, as the combined healing of Lucio, Moira's stream, as well as a well-placed healing orb make it extremely difficult for enemy teams to get through your health pools. And since Moira's ult charges so quickly, it can be just enough of a deterrent for the enemy team once they do, driving them back, as it's a great amount of damage and also basically makes your team invincible. This particular support setup also is great against dive-heavy teams, since both of the supports can be pretty hard to kill. When paired together, it can be extremely frustrating for heroes like Tracer, Genji, or Sombra to try and secure kills on the heroes that they normally focus. And of course, we couldn't talk about iconic support duos without mentioning one for Overwatch's newest healer, our favorite in balance, Brigitta. While she's still relatively new and was just made available for competitive play, Brigitta looks to be the ultimate deathball hero. And with additional buffs to heroes like Reaper and nerfs to D.Va, it's pretty realistic to think that we could be heading away from the dive meta and into a state of play where slow advancing deathballs become pretty much par for the course. And if there's any support you'd want to pair with Brigitta for healing these slow advancing deathball comps, it's probably Moira. Moira and Brigitta function similarly to the Lucio Moira comp we just talked about. One of the big notes for Lucio Moira, however, was that the team comp wanted to slow advance until they were capable of securing a pick, and Brigitta's stun does exactly that. By being able to quickly charge and stun a diving DPS, an out-of-position support, or even just an enemy tank, she creates opportunities for the rest of the team to very quickly eliminate a target. Pair that with both Moira and Brigitta's ability to heal targets within an area, as well as augment them with armor, and you create a very powerful deathball formation. Brigitta also has a lot of self-peel with her crowd control, and with Moira's passive lifesteal when attacking enemies. This support duo is hands down the most difficult to kill in the game. While it's still hard to say exactly where Brigitta's place is in the meta, we know that she's pretty annoying and might be receiving a nerf soon, but I'd keep an eye out for this duo in the coming season regardless. And if you happen to still have friends who play Overwatch, maybe consider trying this out with a tanky, slow-moving composition and see what you make of it. Well, everybody, that does it for our list of the best support duos and combinations in Overwatch. Whether it's a slow-moving deathball, an aggressive dive comp, or a team built around the success of a single hero, the flexibility of Overwatch's heroes definitely leave you a ton of options to consider when coming up with your team comps. Some excel better on certain maps, some will have certain heroes, but in the end, all have their moment to shine, which makes for a balanced and pretty enjoyable experience overall. If you'd like to see more Overwatch videos from us in the future, make sure you hit that thumbs up button so we know. And if you haven't, consider subscribing to the channel and turning on notifications so that you know when that video, as well as every other video, is released. And you'll get to leave your first comment on it like all the other brilliant commenters who definitely weren't the 17th to come out. You guys are seriously awesome for sticking with Overwatch and with Overwatch Curios for all this time, and we can't wait to make so many more amazing videos for you all. Until next time, peace. If Ana happens to be your favorite support, then I'm sorry for you, but she's also got another solid part. Waffle, you're so loud. Waffle, your feet is so loud. It's messing up my... Are you done walking down the stairs? Yeah, you're done. You're done walking down the stairs.